Uh, yeah, and we'll just hop in.
I will say it's a good thing we don't do video
Why?
because then we'd have to like try to match what we were wearing, and
Oh
you
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah. If we were, if
I
we
got a
were,
haircut, and
yeah,
there'd be
continuity would be all over the
yeah,
place for
yeah.
this.
Evidently, we still went live on YouTube. I don't know how.
Oops, a daisy. Oh, had you
It's
turned it
okay.
off?
Well, no, I closed the window, thinking,
Oh,
hey, we're not gonna go live, but evidently, we'll still go live, which
should
is
we
good
turn
to
that
know.
off? Doesn't matter. Yeah,
I
doesn't really matter. Yeah.
no.
I was gonna ask you one. I did put the episode for tomorrow in the folder. Did you see that in the artwork
Yeah,
and
I saw
everything?
that. I need
Cool.
to get everything up,
And
so
then I'll
I'll look
probably
at it
have
real
this
quick.
one up tonight, but obviously doesn't need to do anything till
Right.
tomorrow, but I'll get it all ready.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Ready to go?
Yeah.
I'll just pretend like the tidy up jingle just played. Or do you
Okay.
want to bring us out of the tidy up just to throw people off?
Nah.
Okay.
Maybe one of these days.
One of these days, yeah. Maybe when you actually have a tidy up instead of me.
Right.
Okay. Ready?
Yep.
Okay, so last week, John, we did our summer camps, and
Hmm.
if I recall correctly, you were 100% perfect, and everything you said was absolutely correct. Is that correct?
As far as I know, no one has
I
said elsewise.
No one has said otherwise. I would actually love if somebody did have something to say about either of those, just because
Hmm.
I think we're both very thorough in what we did in terms of our summer camp
I
quizzes.
mean, I did actual research for once.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, you read a book.
a part of a
Gosh,
book, but
gosh,
I
dang
mean,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You did. I really did love listening back to that episode and feeling like, wow, we really went into the history here. But these places both they're nearly 100-year history, so there's plenty
Hmm.
of people who have much different sort of takes on things and much deeper connections. What I will say is, I went to who I consider to be my direct source of a historian, my dad, to ask him two specific things because there were two things that bugged me that I did not know the answer to in that
Yeah.
episode. And one of them was the acreage of Camp Laverne. Your quiz, if we recall, contained the question that Camp Mac is 200 acres of land, which
Hmm.
made me like rethink what an acre was altogether because I estimated that maybe Camp Laverne was 5 acres. Turns out I was actually 10.8 acres.
Okay.
So I was, I missed by what is, I was half off, double 5 to 10. But compared to Camp Max 200 acres, 10 acres is so tiny.
Right.
And so I at least was accurate in that guess that, yeah, this is, we do have a much smaller camp. What
That
I
would be
love is
correct.
my dad he found a document with some information that I love. So this is in the records about Camp Laverne. Here it is. Camp Laverne, quote, consists of 10.8 acres of wooded mountain pine forest at an altitude of 6 in approximately 27 miles from Redlands and 35 miles from Big Bear. So now you can stalk Camp Laverne on a satellite.
And it sounds like you should put that on the website.
Hey, okay, John, there it is. That tells you everything you need to know about its
It
location, right?
does. Yeah, no, I
Yes.
mean, it totally tells you because, if I was just, like, I went to the website to see if it said on there,
There's
and I'm
nothing.
like, yeah, there's nothing. Like, it doesn't tell you, like, at least in Indiana, with Camp Mac, you know what to pack for,
Yeah. Yeah.
it tells you where it is, but with Laverne, it doesn't.
Yeah.
California, you have pretty much any ecosystem you want. Like,
Yep.
which one is it, people?
Yeah, it's funny because I think there's just such an assumption that if you're coming to Camp Laverne, you basically already know what it is. But this is the kind of thinking we need to get out of in order to bring new people in. This is a fresh place that nobody's ever heard of. And what do they? So this has
Hmm.
been a great little brainstorm session. So I'm just going to say, found in some document at camp, here is what Camp Laverne is. The other one, a little less specific, but I mentioned the tree that smells like butterscotch and
Hmm.
or vanilla. I remembered after the fact, but I verified it with my dad. It's called a Jeffrey Pine. Jeffrey,
Okay.
like the name, Jeffrey Pine. I didn't do any specific research about what like what it is that's happening that makes that smell. Look up what a Jeffrey Pine is. It's very aromatic. I mean, you get up next to it and it's like, whoa, this smells delicious. I want to lick this tree. But I have licked the tree, and I will tell you, don't do it, because it turns out it tastes like tree. It only smells like butterscotch and vanilla. So there you go. There's my tidy up. We now know Camp Laverne is in the mountains, and we now know why it smells like butterscotch. So John, do you feel tidied up?
I think so. Sounds good.
Do you have anything on? Did you look up Jeffrey Pines?
Yeah, I'm looking it up now. The conservation status of it is least concern, completely
Oh, good.
opposite from extinct, so that's good. Named after a botanist by the name of John Jeffrey.
Hey, that's your first name and not
Right. Spelled differently on the first name, but
John.
yep. It's also known as yellow pine and black pine.
Okay, nice.
I'll let you take a guess at the scientific name.
But I think I'm already looking at it. Pinus jeffreyi. That's the botanical name. Pinus jeffreyi. There's a Y and an I at the end. Jeffrey I.
I don't know.
Pinus jeffreyi. Yeah, I like that.
So
Jeffreyi.
Pinus is the genus, and then species is Jeffreyi, which, yay, Latinizing things that aren't actually Latin.
I know, the guy's last name is Jeffrey, and they literally added an I to it to make it Latin. That's great. Gosh, how do I get
Ponderosa pine wood?
Okay, yeah. Oh yeah, in fact, there's videos that are showing like Jeffrey pine versus Ponderosa pine. So they are very, and it looks like they both produce pine
source
cones.
Of turpentine.
It's what kind of source of turpentine?
A poor source.
Poor source. Okay, is it good to know? I wondered if there was if the sap had any sort of flavor, for lack of a better word, just because of the
Right.
smell. But yeah, Nevada, Oregon, Baja California, and most parts of California.
I'm not seeing anything about a smell.
Interesting.
Yeah,
interesting. I'm not either. At least
the interesting is that it can thrive in serpentine soil.
Jeffrey pine smell. If we just Google that, the scent of Pinus jeffreyi is variously described as reminiscent of vanilla, lemon, pineapple, violets, apple, and quite commonly butterscotch. That's weird. That says that's on. Oh yeah, there it is. It's on the Wikipedia page for Pinus jeffreyi.
Oh.
As opposed to Jeffrey Pine.
Well, I'm looking at Pinus jeffreyi.
Under description, the third paragraph. What is your show?
There it is. Yep,
there it is. Yep. There we go. You'd almost think that would be the very first thing they say, because that's what we know it as.
It's the resin.
It's the resin. That's the sap, right?
It's specifically the N-heptane in the resin.
Oh, and what is N-heptane? The letter N-heptane.
So
Pure
heptane is it's the 100 point and 100% isooctane. An octane is what strength of gas is.
Okay. So that's why it's a smell, because it's a
volatile
it's a gas.
chemical.
Wow. Yeah, it's a volatile chemical. Wow, but it's safe to smell it, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, to an extent.
Probably not in high doses.
Like any other, heptane is commercially available as mixed isomers for use in paints and coatings as the rubber cement solvent Bestine.
Yeah, you wouldn't go smelling that all day.
Fuel.
Wait a minute, John. I'm going to need you to be the scientist here. Should I stop encouraging campers to put their nose up to this tree and inhale?
I don't think you're going to run into any issues.
I can't imagine either. I'm sure it's I'm sure it's non-harm. I guarantee it's non-harmful, but like you said, it's like anything where if you had a super concentrated dose of it and really, then that's probably not the safest thing. But it's funny because I'm watching Chernobyl right now. Have you watched that on HBO? Chernobyl?
No, I haven't.
It's super good, but it's like literally what happens is there's radiation in the air, and the air you breathe is not safe, and it's just like terrifying to think about that. So now I'm like, oh, look at all these. I know about chemicals because I watched Chernobyl. So I.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you want to know something scary about California?
No.
Um, there are counties in California that you don't want to live because of the natural asbestos that's in the
Oh,
air.
it's natural asbestos.
Mhm.
What does that come from? Plants or ground or
No,
like what?
the ground. Asbestos comes from a rock. Um,
Wow.
and so the rock, works its way up to the surface and just gets kicked up into the air and
John, knowledge,
I think that's the worst knowledge bomb you've ever given me as a resident of California, and I'm assuming and hope that LA County is not one of those counties. You better hope it's not. We have asbestos in our building, so we don't have to worry about it coming out of the ground. We're covered there.
right.
Very fascinating, John. Very fascinating.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the California government knows about it because they have in the California Air Resource Board an entire article about naturally occurring asbestos.
Okay, that's good. And what I was gonna say too is, God, talk about air quality in California. Like they're from the pollution of LA to the manure and chemicals of the farming area to it's across it's
Right.
across the state and so many different things. So it's just one of many to check off. Well, very nice, John. Anything else you got? Any other cool stuff you got for us?
No, I think that's it.
All right, we're nice and tidy. Let's learn about some one-hit wonders then.
Sounds good.
All right, sweet. I'll stop it.